Welcome back to the third video on n8n. In this video, we're going to build a small automation or a basic automation. And let us see what is it going to include. So this is what we're going to build. We're going to have a form, n8n form. So basically, as soon as somebody fills up the form, we need to capture that on Google Sheets. So all that data, whatever is input on the form, we need to capture that into Google Sheet and then automatically send an email. So this is a basic workflow that we're going to build. Start with the form, capture those information. Maybe we're going to have three: what the name, gender, and the email address. So that is going to get captured in the Google Sheet, and then we're going to send an email. Capture what are that information is captured, we're going to send that email. Okay, so this is what we're going to be looking at. So now let's get started. I'm going to go back to my n8n. So this is my overview. Let me go to personal, and like I mentioned earlier, it is better to have a folder, and inside that we're going to build all of these workflows. So let me click on practice and then click on create workflow. And what is the first step? We want to capture, or we need to build a form. You can have different forms and then you can link them, but for our understanding, we're going to start building an n8n form. So this is the first step. So when we click on that, let's search for form. Okay, and you will see when I search for form, we are getting the n8n form. So generate web forms in n8n and pass their responses to the workflow. So I'm going to just click on that, and it is a trigger. So one is you can build a form separately and then start a trigger, or but then n8n has a inbuilt as soon as somebody enters, so on a new n8 form event. So I'm going to use that as my trigger, and you will see there are two URLs. One is the test URL and the production URL. The advantage of this is, if it is a production URL, then I don't have to keep checking it, or I have to keep submitting it. So instead of that, I can use the test URL. Let me copy this. Okay, and if you run it, you will see, yeah, pasting that, you will see the form isn't, the trigger isn't listening anything because we have not executed this form, or we are not running this form. Okay, and that is the reason for that. So let us first complete all of these and then we will proceed. Okay, so this is a form, and here what do we want? If you see the settings, there are some information that you can do here. Let's go back to parameters, and what is the title? We're going to call this as, well, let's build it as n8n lead capture. Please provide your details and our team of experts will get back to you. Okay. To you. Done. So this is the title and this is going to be our description. And now we need to add the different elements. Like we mentioned, if you go back here in our form, we want to capture three details. One is the name, gender, and email ID. And all three of them are going to be basic text forms. So if I click on add form setup, so this is a label and what is the element type. And you will see these are the different element types that we have: checkboxes, custom HTML, date, drop down, etc. These are the different parts. So I'm going to start with text, and what is the label? What do you want to display? So I'm going to say enter your full name. Okay. And now let me execute this step once. Okay. So if you'll see here, stop listening, and it automatically opens this, and you will see this is the input form and this is our label. Let me close that and then stop listening. Okay. So we have the first element. The second one that we want, again, so we click on add form element. So there are different attributes that you can add: the placeholder value, custom field name, etc. If you want, you can do that. I'm just going to leave it as is. The next one that we want is, we want them to enter, please choose your gender. Okay, and now if you want, we can give them a drop down. So here's a drop down, and you will see what are the different options that you have. So you can say male, add field option, female, add field option, unspecified. Right. Okay, so these are the three conditions that we have. What is the next form element that I want? I want them to enter your email ID. And here, if you see, just for its validation, we are going to choose the email one, so that if they don't enter proper email ID, it is going to validate that information. These are the ones that we are adding. Okay, let's just execute this step once again and see how is it. So if you see here, the name, Okay, we have male, female, or unspecified, and then your email address that we can pick from here. So this is done. Okay, I'm going to click on stop listening again and test this trigger. Okay, yeah, perfect. That's working fine. So now we can close this. So this is our form. So this is our first form. Okay, let me close this, and you will see on form submission we have this. Now this is your input. Now what do we want? What is the next step? If we go back to our workflow, you will see we want to add a Google Sheet. So now again I can click on this and search for Google Sheets, and you will see here Google Sheets. So under Google Sheet, if you want to create a spreadsheet, you will start from there. You can delete spreadsheet. But what is it that I want to do? I want to no, either update a row or append a row. So I will say append or update a row in Sheet. So this is what I want. Let me click on that. And moment I do that, it opens the row. So first thing that it needs is it needs a Google Sheet account. Let me, okay, you'll see that there is an authentication here. That's it. Let me click on the edit because I've already created this. Let me show you how do you add it. Let me delete the one that I have. Delete. I've already added my account, so that's right. So this is the credential. So you can also, if you have not set it up, this is a way for you to follow on. So I can click on this. I'm going to say create new credentials, and I'm going to use sign in with Google. Yes, there are other authentication methods. There's a little complicated one, but let us say I'm going to go with sign in with Google, and then I am going to pick my Google account. It'll ask you for permissions, etc. Mine, since I'd already connected, it is not asking me for all of those permissions, but you can click select those and then click on continue. As soon as you do that, once it is successful, you'll see it will tell you that the connection is successful. Okay, so I'm going to close this. So now my Google account is connected. Now, what is the resource is going to be the sheet within the document, and what is the operation that I wanted to perform? I wanted to append or update row. So you also see append row. You can clear, delete all of those. But what do I want? I wanted to add. And now choose the documents. If I click on this, okay, choose. So you will see I can either put a URL by ID, etc. Or since my account is connected, I'm going to click on this. So you will see here, I'm seeing this n8n leads. How did this come? Let me show you the steps here. So I'll go to sheets.google.com, and here you will see I have, let me switch to my other account. Yeah, and you will see there is a form or a sheet that I've created. So how do you create a new sheet? Just click on blank spreadsheet and change the name here, and then include a header here. Okay, so let's change the name here. I'm going to whatever name that we want to add, n8n leads. Okay, fine. And then what and all are the form content that we are creating. So now let me create new. Let's change this to n8n new leads. Okay. And what and all are we capturing? We are capturing name. So I'm going to put that as a column there. Next, we have gender. And third is email ID. So these are the three fields that we are going to capture. And what is the name? n8n leads. Okay. Let me now go back to my triggers here. Okay. And let me see if I choose from here. Okay, let me just maybe refresh this page once again so that the form that we created now, or sorry, the sheet that we created now is available. Okay, if I click on this now again, you will see I get the new one, n8n new leads. Okay. Under that, where do I want it to update? I will say please update it on sheet one. If you have different sheets, so right now we just have sheet one, but if you had different sheets, you can update those information in each of those sheets. Okay. Next, what is it that you want to do? So you will see map column, the mapping columns mode. And the advantage here is, again, you will see we have the name, gender, and email ID that we have. But I'm not able to get any of these details here, right? So what will I do? I'm going to say execute previous node. So it is going to execute this node. Okay. So let me just put that information and say, okay, smile. I'm going to choose mail, enter my email ID, submit. Okay, your response has been recorded. Okay, you'll see that now. As soon as I did that, you will see what happened is it executed that and it gave me all those form names that is available. And there are different formats. So now if I click on table format, you will see it gets captured in table format. You also get the JSON file, but we are going to use the schema one here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag, what is it that I want the full name, so I'm going to drag and put that name here. Next, what do I want? I want, let me scroll down. Email is here and gender is here. So I need gender. Please choose your gender. I'll drag that and put it there. And the next one is email. I'm just going to drag that and put it here. So now what we have the previous one, and now let me execute this step and you will see, okay, problem. In node append or update row, the column to match on parameter. Okay. Column to match on, okay, name. Let me say map it automatically. We have the name, the map column. Okay, we have the name that's mapped. Okay, let me execute that again and see if that works now. And you will see it is done. And it is captured the name, gender, and email is done. So this step is also done. So now I'm going to close this. So what is it? As soon as somebody submits a form, it is going to capture that information here in Google Sheets. Okay. Let me go back to Google Sheets here. Let me refresh this once, and you will see already one data is come. And let us execute this workflow now. Execute workflow. So it is going to open the first form, and maybe I'm going to enter some other information here. So let me put Rahul again, mail, and I'm just going to say Rahul at n8n.io. Okay, and submit. So it'll say form has been submitted formally. It also tells the workflow is executed successfully. Let me close this. Let me go back here to my form, and then you will see it is already updated here. So we have got this information. So what is it that we want to do after this? We want to send an email as soon as this is updated with the new leads. Okay, so that's the third node that we want to add. So let's click on that, and we will say Gmail, and you will see under Gmail what is it that I want. Got a message, get many messages, mark send a message. Okay, so I'm going to say send a message. Again, since my Google account is already connected now, we can use that. So here I'm going to choose the message. Okay, and operation, what is it that I want? I wanted to send. Now here in the email ID, I want to send a message to the person who submitted it. So if you see here, we have these email IDs here. So I'm just going to click on this email and then put it here. And then of course change it to expressions. If you wanted to, if you want the email to be sent to a specific person only, then you can use the fix. But in this case, I want to make it dynamic. Send it to whoever is sending it or submitting the form. And of course, the text. What is the message? We're just going to say thank you for the form. Okay. And that's it. So let's execute the step. Node executed successfully. So you will see it is sent an email. Let me change this email account here. So let's say the different account that is connected to this. Okay, I'm going to say create new credentials, sign in with Google, and I'm going to use this ID. So this is, we're going to say select all, continue. So this is authenticating the email ID. So earlier we had authenticated the Google account or the Google Sheets. Now it is authenticating the Gmail, and it says connection is successful and that account is created. Okay. Let me close this, and you will see there are two Gmail IDs that is added right now. Okay. Once again, two is done, execute step. So this ideally would have gone to this email ID. Okay. Let me go back here and check if I go to the sent items, if there is anything there, and you will see here there are two email IDs that has gone to Rahul. But now let us submit a new form and check if we are also able to receive that. Okay, let me copy this email ID and we're going to use this to submit our form. Okay, come back here. I'm going to close this, and now let us execute this complete form. So execute workflow. You will see it opens this. I'm going to put my name, gender male, and I'm going to put that email ID because we want to check if it is sending this email ID automatically, right? And then click on submit. So what would it do? So the next step ideally is it should have captured the lead in our Google Sheet. So let us go here, refresh it once. Okay. See ismail.trainer@gmail.com. Let me also go to this, check sent items, refresh once. Okay, you will see it is sent to me, the new lead received. Thank you for your form. Let me go back to my inbox also, and you will see there is an email that I have received. Address no longer found. Yeah, this address is return one, right? And this is the new lead received one. So this is now a complete workflow from where we were able to get the form, append the sheets in Google, okay, and then send a message. Now let us see if I want to edit any of this. Yeah, then you can click on open, update or append. So I would say create a new row. So if what happened is it is updated that row. I want to change this to append the row so that whenever there's a new um, row that is added, is going to update that. Okay, I'm going to leave this right now and then click on execute workflow once again. It opens a new form. Let us check. I'm going to add Ismail 2 just for our understanding mail, and I'm going to paste this email ID once again and then click on submit. Okay, it says form submitted for. Okay, and it says this is your test version of the form. We didn't move to the. Okay, now you will see the new one is added. Let me go back to my lead, click on inbox. Okay, and new lead received. Not yet. Okay, let us see if the sent one is done. Yeah, newly received. It is there in the sent. Let me also check in the inbox and you will see new lead received. Thank you for the form. Okay, so this is our basic workflow. We will start looking at how do we build a little more complex workflows as we proceed. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next video.